And we are live. Give me a sec. Cool. Hello everybody and welcome to the Zero MMR podcast with me, your host Ex.Zero, and with a new host set of hosts. This time we have Trap. How you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I am doing great. Now we also have our resident Aussie local scene expert Praetorian. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
We have another new addition. Just old mate. How you doing, mate?
I'm alright, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. And of course, we have the return of an old host since before the relaunch. Pretzel, how you doing, man?
Doing spectacular. Ready to talk some shit. Talk about some Dota. Let's do it.
Ah man, you are in for a good time then, cause I know all of these people and we are good at talking shit. Okay, so all right, so this podcast is all about Dota. Hey, there you go, respect, repping. But yeah, this podcast is all about Dota and everything going on in the scene, especially what we have going in the Aussie scene itself. And you know what? I kind of want to get this going. Let's start off with our resident Aussie expert, Praetorian. What's been going on?
Well, so obviously over the break, over the Christmas break, not too much is happening. Mostly just people, doing scrims, practicing and stuff like that. But of course, we did have the Zen Summerland. Did eventually happen, which I was, thankfully enough asked to go along and cast. So that's down in Melbourne. The Zen Gaming Lounge, and that went pretty well. Expected results, however, N9 did end up securing that one at a 3-0 up against King Hypnotoad. So I guess everyone who is a tournament organizer just did the usual shit post of N9 retirement funds, easy money. But it happens. It happens. But of course, what else is going on is the Adelaide Land just actually finished over the weekend. That was being done by Clutch Studios. So that's Tatman Tat as well as Smoker the Top Loco have been casting that one. So it was looking pretty solid. That's pretty much it for like what has happened in the Australian scene. What is happening? ESL announced their tournament that they're going to be running over the next couple of months. That's coming up in March. I think it said $10,000 tournament, but I haven't read too deep into the details because the Dota 2 tournament part of it hasn't really been released. They've mainly released just the CS:GO stuff. Speaking of CS:GO and Australia, though, I am Sydney coming up. Trap?
Please.
Big news.
So excited. You have no idea.
I mean, was it Praetorian Trap? You two went last year, right? How was?
Yeah, we sat together. It was so cute. We ate a pizza together.
Oh,
And
that's
I
cute.
I drew a sign on the pizza box and I got confiscated.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's no fun then. Well, I am crap Tony. Let's just leave it. No pizza signs. What's the fucking point?
It was really good. It was such. I remember I was sitting out. I went outside. I'm a smoker, so I went outside for a cigarette, and I was talking to the CFO of VSL. Like, he's the sweetest guy, and I asked him about Dota. I'm like, "Are you ever bringing Dota to Australia?" And they're just like, "God, we want to. We really want to. We just weren't sure how Australians would react to an esports tournament like this." And I wanted to kick him in the balls. We care! We fucking care! So yeah, anyway, Supri and I are gonna get seats together and, well, I'm gonna use this ticket to sneak into the good section last year.
Oh, the good section.
It'll be fun.
Frey, you had the good section. What's the good section?
No, we had a setup, right? Like, did any of you guys watch it last year?
No, I think I gave it a
Replay
pass.
on Twitch.
Okay, so it's infamous for a guy chucking a shoey, right? Like, he was like in the rows in front of us. Remember that, Bray? He was like,
Yeah.
hey, that dude's chucking a shoey. And so that's the good section, the shoey section, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
So
Smack bang in front.
what Prey does is he spends the money for a decent ticket. He walks down into the good section, And then
Takes
he
off
says,
his
"Oh, I
shirt.
just need to go." Well, no. And then he goes, "Oh, I gotta pee." So what he does is he brings his ticket out to me, and then I walk in. It's great.
You guys got the strategy down.
Yeah. Hey,
Right,
like
right,
it
right.
worked last time. I'm not too sure if it'll work this time around, but
Yeah, look.
one can only- look, I'm gonna continue doing it until I'm invited by ESL proper to cover these events.
Oh, remember fucking, you know, the CEO of ESL? He was just handing out beers to like our row.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
He just was
Legend.
like, "You guys want
Pretty
beers?
much.
Have some beers." It's just like,
Yeah.
all right, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sick.
Awesome.
ESL stuff, walking around doing that the entire time.
Mm.
It was the most Australian thing ever. Like,
Were they VBs?
I think it was cutting drafts.
I don't know.
But-
$25 for a fucking beer.
But
That'd be-
like,
You ain't complaining.
free beers.
anyway, yeah. I love CS:GO. I follow CS:GO quite closely as well as Dota. So.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I mean,
Boys,
I was gonna ask whether you guys were only there for Dota or were you kind of like interested in all of the other stuff. Oh wait, was there Dota last year for IEM?
no.
No, that's right.
It's
Yeah.
like- It was sort of like when PUBG first got released, so they were like trialing PUBG out in the lobby.
Yeah.
Stuff like
Okay.
That.
Yeah, because I've figured I've had to remember there was a reason why I didn't go or like didn't watch it. But yeah, now I remember it was just CS:GO, right?
Yeah.
There was no Dota, that's why.
Yeah.
No, I'm the one that drew the sign saying "Gift Dota," like on the
Yeah.
box. It was on stream. It's great.
was pretty damn dank. But no, I went because at the time I was working for Australia Esports Federation, which is a Dota 2 tournament org, and we were pretty keen on making some connections to a bunch of people in the area of just esports in general. Also, I've done work for like a bunch of esports orgs like Trident and stuff like that, who are pretty well known throughout the CS:GO scene. So I'm friends with quite a few of the CS:GO people already. And then I'm like, well, I play CS:GO a little bit. I'm pretty terrible. I'm still not out of silver, but it doesn't stop me from. It doesn't stop anyone from not understanding what goes on because CS:GO.
That's a good thing about CS:GO, man. It's easy to understand.
It's so easy to understand.
You're talking
Yeah.
to a DMG, boys.
Yeah, dude, it's just CS:GO is so much easier. Like I tried watching like fucking Overwatch esports. Wow, that shit is hard to follow. That is so hard to follow. Holy crap! Cause
we
like,
complain about Dota, like at least
Yeah.
cause no, it's seriously cause Overwatch, the what you're spectating is like the player's view. There's no like there's other than like an overhead view which doesn't go through roofs.
It is horrible, I reckon, as well.
No,
Just
it's
so
terrible.
shocking.
It's terrible. If you go into
objectives.
yeah, you go into they decide to go into a view of like a Tracer or a Genji. The camera's just fucking flying all over the place just because they're trying to like spread their fire and like trying to dodge all this stuff. Like, oh my god! I mean, you think Reinhardt would be okay, but no, the guy's just fucking swinging everything, turning everywhere.
Just chucking 360s left, right, and center.
Yeah, because that's how Reinhardt do. That's how Reinhardt do. But yeah, no, that stuff is rough. CS:GO is just some of that stuff is so easy. It's so easy to see. The in-game the spectating is like super good, and it's not hard to understand everything that's going on.
Yeah.
There's 5 dudes with guns and they want to kill each other.
Yup.
Last team standing.
5 Ts, 5 CTs, plant bomb, defuse bomb, or shoot everyone else dead.
That's
Seems
it.
good. Yeah.
And then, like, I guess if you know a little bit about the game, you can get into like the economy and all that kind of stuff. But it's easy
Yeah.
to understand on a base level. So
We
Yeah.
have to talk about it. There's nothing else to fucking talk about.
You know, actually, one of my favorite things about CS is just that I haven't seen much in like a bunch of the esports that are kind of similar. It's just the outline of enemies of people through buildings. That is like a game changer. That is like so big. I love that so
Yeah.
much.
The
It's just
spectator,
yeah,
amazing.
so
But
good.
kind of speaking of CS:GO and stuff, the major system it's continued on for a little bit longer, I guess, for Dota 2.
Right.
System that was used so much for CS:GO.
Okay, huh?
So,
Alright, can we just talk about in Dota real
Oh, no.
quick?
oh no.
Can we just real quick? How messed up this fucking major system is now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did anyone else see the 3 majors before TI bit?
I think I remember.
It's like 4-5 weeks or something. It's just like major, 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 TI. So like if you're like the 8th team or something in terms of points, you can legitimately like win the 3 majors and get into TI, like as a top 4.
Just have a
It's
crazy
so
run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Dude, if you just like turn down for what and just pull like an alliance patch day, just like every single time, you're just like, hey guys, we got patched in.
So Secret's going to TI is what you're saying.
Secret's already in TI. For
Oh
sure.
man.
Yeah, you're not
Wow.
wrong. I'm having a look now, and it's just major, major, major. Mars Media major, ESO, and then PGL major.
Yeah, it's
I
so
just-
stupid.
I can't tell what's qualifiers and what's majors anymore.
Yeah, there's a bit of a weird line there.
Everything is qualifiers.
There's always qualifiers for everything, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Well,
In
we
fact,
had
you'll have
the-
qualifiers for 2 majors that are going on at the same time.
Yeah, so I just want to quickly touch on that. So we've got the Epicenter XL qualifiers still on. That's the one up in Moscow. Epicenter, pretty well known. They run an absolutely banging first LAN that they ever ran. I was speaking to Ryan Editor, who was the OG manager at the time, and it was like, this is amazing. In fact, I still got one of those dollars from Miracle's 9,000 MMR, the briefcase that was handed to him. I've still got one of those.
Damn.
So it's pretty dope. But yeah, so they're doing their qualifiers. They're doing it over like 4 weeks, which is absolutely insane. Like I've never seen anyone
4 weeks.
in terms of tournament organization do it. It's like they've got
Is
4
that for
open.
scheduling?
4
No,
weeks.
it's 4 different open qualifier slots. It's insane, and that's just to get into the closed qualifiers, which it's like 4 teams in each closed qualifiers, and then there's 4 open bracket slots. It's a really, really weird setup, but I really like it because it pushes a lot of teams that are kind of like newer into the ability of actually getting in and stuff like that. And because of the fact that it's like 4 different weeks, instead of like, I think there was a one that was done a couple of years ago or something. It was like 2 weeks or something, and you've got like 4 different qualifying dates. Or the old TI format, which was 2 qualifiers, and it's like you've got like the first day of qualifiers, finals qualifier for the open quals, and then the day after you've got the open quals and then the finals. Like it's literally just like 4 days in a row of just like, if you are a C player and because it happens to start on a Tuesday, you just don't stop playing Dota until like Friday morning because of how bad the times were all the time. So I think this is a lot of a much, much better format. And obviously we have the DAC calls going on. We did actually have an Australian team get through pretty far on the Epicenter XL calls as well. XCN, which was Godot, Splico, and stuff like that. So I think a couple of other people have been following that team pretty well. Yeah, but we should probably also talk about the actual tournaments that have been going on. You guys catch up in terms of the Galaxy battles?
Yeah, managed to catch all the Galaxy battles, despite getting stripped of the major title. It was I thought it was still a great tournament.
What a great tournament.
Mm.
Can I just say, what a great flipping tournament.
That good, huh? I didn't expect it to be amazing with like with a bunch of the teams dropping out because of it. Actually.
Yeah. That was actually quite surprising. The number of teams that just went, up, can't win qualifier points, we're out of here.
I mean, what do you
So the
expect?
players-
Everyone's
players-
goal is TI, right? So they just want as many DPC points as possible. So
Just fair.
But still, the prize pool's nothing to sort of turn away from. Like $200,000 first place is still great.
Yeah. What did you guys think of OG subbing out S4 as well as Notel, getting Keizu as well as fucking Madden? Because that was a bit interesting. Like, obviously, you get a coach in, that makes sense. But getting Keizu in, who was a free agent at the time, I think he's still technically a free agent, but he's with the Sin stack for qualifiers. It's a bit of a weird
There's
situation.
that controversy around KZ, right? Like where you got kicked off Secret.
I think it was just because Father is better, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Because they were after
that's
someone
right.
more
Yeah,
mature.
no, there was like contract controversies and stuff like that. But like, I think Casey's a good player, I really do. But
Case is great.
OG,
Yeah, he was just a stand-in for it, and I think was it because there's a bit of a rumor going around that it's because obviously S4 Notel, they're kind of from countries that are kind of lax in terms of drug laws, so it's like yeah,
They may not have had a choice in it.
yeah, they might have accidentally tested positive or something.
yeah,
of course.
let's talk about that. The drug
It's
testing.
possible. Like, yeah, it could be. Like, I wouldn't
Hmm.
want to be going into a country with that severe, in the Philippines with that severe
Penalties, yeah.
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Why?
It's like if you had like 2 cones or something like 2 weeks before, you're fucked.
Just in case, Matty. God. I mean, it's part of the reason. That is obviously, I think, one of the big reasons stated by Valve that they stripped it of its major status. And I don't kind of blame them. I mean, you don't want to like be viewed as like a company that will put people's lives at risk for money.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have been good PR for them in any case. And
No,
I mean,
well, you'd feel absolutely horrible, like as part of a team, if you were just like, I can't actually go here and compete and gain points to feel like we said before, like Ti, the main goal, and that would just
or
I'm
like
gonna risk my life for it.
yeah, or worse, yeah, or worse, you're kind of the country, you're like the team you're playing for, or like maybe you're in such a disposition, you kind of need to literally risk your life for this stuff because you got what if you actually need to play? You know, just
I mean, what CS:GO had a bit of a controversy a few years ago with C9 talking about taking Ritalin and stuff like that. That was at an ESL event as well.
Yeah, CS:GO drug tests. All that
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
was being pushed a lot too. And I
mean,
think
The
You're
LCS
imagine-
did it too.
yeah, for League of Legends as well. So it was one of those things where I guess a lot of people are kind of looking towards the Dota 2 scene as the next big frontier for I guess drug testing and stuff like that to really start
Yeah.
occurring a lot. Because
I
it is
just-
one of those problems that will eventually arise.
Like,
Sorry,
I just think Dota players won't pass the test. Like, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I mean, I think it was that interview or like another interview where like one of the players said that like in Adderall and Ritalin are like such widespread that you're really at a huge disadvantage if you don't use it. And like and technically they have like rules against it. I think ESL had like rules against it as well, but like they didn't really enforce it. And besides like there's like caffeine. So I think a lot of it comes down to, I think, it being a very recent idea, that esports is relatively recent, and then the idea of drugs in esports is relatively recent. So it's kind of hard to like find the balance there, and like and not to mention find out what drugs people are taking to improve for the advantage to test for at all.
So I'm not too sure how much experience in the competitive Dota 2 scene Oldmate and Pretzel have, but me personally, I've talked to a number of pro players and stuff like that, and a lot of them, they do drink caffeine and stuff like that, or like have caffeine supplementation through either coffee or tablets or whatever. But their main opinion is that any other like drugs or anything like that, it's pretty detrimental to your actual overall ability to play properly, because when you think about it, Dota 2, it's not, I think it's probably most similar to StarCraft in terms of cross game.
High
kind of-
APM.
Yeah.
Got to be
you're
on
looking at
top
high
of the ball
APM.
at all times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got to have all your cognitive
High
functions
reaction.
there, but you've also got to be fast. So,
Hmm.
like, caffeine helps with that, but it doesn't overly help with everything because what happens is, when you take Ritalin and stuff like that, it can impair certain cognitive functions. So, for CS:GO and stuff, it makes sense that you might have your entry frag or highs all hell on that kind of stuff, but you don't want your
In a game
sniper
like
or whatever.
Dota, yeah.
You don't want your sniper or something, high as all hell because he might just get jumpy and, end up putting a bullet through, his mate's head or something like that.
Yeah.
The most inopportune time. So with Dota 2, I think it's a bit of a weird one, but I just don't think that a lot of these supplementation things are going to be too much of an issue until someone really thinks of, weird and wacky drugs to start using.
Like the other thing that
But
I can think
that's
of.
just my opinion.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure. I don't really see how Adderall or anything like that would be detrimental, because it's supposed to keep you hyper focused into one activity. Not that I have any experience with that or anything. No, I actually don't have any experience with that. But like, I'm pretty sure it's just like it's supposed to be used as ADHD medication to keep people focused on one activity, and that's the idea behind it. So I'm pretty sure it just keeps you I'm sure everyone's been in that state when they're playing a really close game with Dota, or probably any game with Dota, where you just like hit that flow state and you just like you have no idea of what's going on around you at all. You just want like 100% in the game. It just lets them be in that state even further.
Constantly,
So I don't really see how that would. I don't see how Adderall or anything would be detrimental in that regard. Of course, I actually don't have any experience with that, and I don't know any of the side effects because it was on a person-by-person basis, I'm sure. So, yeah. But I've never heard of any any proven pro players taking that. So.
Yeah, I think.
But it's also the main thing. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's also that like entry to the Philippines, or to Galaxy battles, like they weren't testing just for Adderall and Riddle. They were testing for like everyday recreational drugs that like people have every right to do like in their downtime or whenever they see fit. Especially in a lot of places in Europe as well, which I think was just the major thing. I'm just like,
yeah,
that
definitely,
sucks for those players.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're gonna kind of move on a little bit to ESL1 Genting. That was pretty big.
Oh yeah, big for very very different reasons.
There was
actually
controversy behind it, but I thought it was a great tournament to watch. Yeah, there was all the whole Facebook thing.
You mean were you able to watch it?
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, I was watching what's his name, Raw Dota most of the time on. Yeah. I think he did a really good job.
Got to give a shout out to MLP Dota, Australian caster based in Sydney, who was doing a little bit of that rebroadcasting. Got a DCMA second day, which I think. I mean, first day was completely stuffed up.
Yeah.
That I was trying to watch it, and there was like 500 people watching who could actually get through on that. That was terrible.
I just thought it was just so hard to just actually even find the stream for it, even on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like I was searching it for Twitch for a while, and I was like, okay, I need to actually find this. But then even finding it on Facebook was just as hard.
Was it not just streamed onto the ESL page?
It was.
I didn't realize that first day.
It was mirrored onto the ESL stream.
Huh.
ESL stream that's based through their website. So it's a bit of a weird one.
That is weird.
Just put in a quick little shout out to Danielle, who actually hosted Galaxy Battles. We should probably mention her because she's actually an Australian-born Dota 2 caster. She moved over to the Philippines, I believe, to work in a studio as well for Dota 2, as well as a bunch of other mobile games and stuff. But she's been doing fantastic work over there.
Yeah, she was great on the panel.
As a positive note for Galaxy Battles, that was one killer of a panel. When Kip as well as Gods were on that panel. Oof, the all-Australian panel.
That looked great. Seriously, yeah. Let's shout her out. I mean, any Australian talent we see just anywhere in Australia, let alone just like the rest of the world. That's Like, we need to shout them out. That's awesome.
Yeah, she covered the European Epicenter qualifiers.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
Seems like Australians just have a natural gift for shoutcasting, huh?
Yeah. We're terrible pro players.
Yeah, terrible. Except for
No.
KP.
Well, look, Australians are loud, so you know this kind of works out.
Where's Base Kip these days? I miss
Kip
that
has
sweet
been-
voice.
Kip's been going through. He's actually doing qualifiers right now with Mort for the
Cool.
Southeast Asian quals as well as the NA quals for
Excuse me.
Epicenter. Sorry, I have to know these things.
Real quick.
God. Actually, on about talent. Didn't PGL just announce their talent lineup as well for their Bucharest event? I think they did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. I remember seeing it's like Toby, Purge, Cap, Piri and Flax. That's pretty much all I can remember. Wepaz and Scriff as obs as usual. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a standard lineup. There's nothing really to hate about it, I guess.
yeah, pretty standard.
Is it even a lineup without Script and weapons?
I don't know, man.
Yes.
Yes, observer from Galaxy Battles.
Pimp Michael Obs is just like.
You mean the one that got fired?
Yeah, the guy that got fired.
Oh, wow, that was rough.
Oh, that guy. No, that guy was Russian. That Russian kid
Poor
that
guy.
had vodka like sitting next to him. I don't blame him for drinking, honestly, because at that point in time he probably would start drinking. But no, that was
Don't
shocking.
worry. As
Oh my
someone in the
God.
industry, Prey, I think you would agree. Like, you have many of these nights.
I watched that and like within like mere seconds I was just like, holy shit, I need to stop watching this. It's giving me a headache. Like as someone who does their own camera work, and I know my camera work is shocking. Like that was like, I like watching a Herald player is a player's perspective in okay. That was literally what like just like missing kills everywhere. Yeah, like you know you can't show anything on the screen at all, like decent information. Like you're showing CS like 20 minutes into the game when it's not even relevant. You know, you won't even show buyback status like past the 50-minute mark.
Oh
It's
God,
like-
he sounds worse than me.
And like it looked like most of the obs was done using arrow keys. That's how bad it was. I was like, oh
I
my
didn't
God.
realize this was a thing. That
didn't
people
even
move the
have
camera
free-
with WASD.
You didn't even have free camera on. It was like the side
No.
scrolling camera.
Oh no!
It's just funny.
Like I've watched some pretty bad casting and like some pretty bad spectating, and like that one just takes the cake.
Yeah,
Like
you've seen me obs before.
hey, like I mean I watched what you and
Jilly.
yeah, you and Jill doing a couple of casts, and like that was like in comparison, you guys did fantastically. You like
Oof, the blow up.
oh I mean like it was literally like watching the worst. It was literally the worst ops I've ever seen.
I feel bad for the guy there.
I do feel bad for him, and I really hope that like you know they don't like murder him for it, like in terms of like just kick him out of everything. I hope that like you know he sits down and goes, okay, I done screwed up. What do I do to improve?
Was he
What?
a real obs though? Or wasn't he like a runner or something?
I don't know. Like I had going back to PAX Oz last year. Well, that had just passed. I had a CS:GO guy doing obs for me, and like he missed a couple of kills here and there, but whenever he requested stuff, he'd be relatively on the money. And like,
Okay.
and then I look back at that and I'm like, the PAX Oz guy would have been like sweating profusely over like the like all of the obs that I was expecting him to do, because I'm so used to doing my own.
Hmm.
And then like I watched this guy who just like obviously doesn't know how to do obs, and I'm like, oh my God, like that's even worse.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't do both at once. I have to obs or I have to cast.
Mm.
Like,
It can be a bit rough sometimes. I mean, back during my casting days,
days.
yes, my casting days. They might be returning.
Remember those?
Yeah, well, half of it was with you, so. But yeah, no, it's your casting days. It was rough. I mean, obviously, back when Oz Aegis and Friday Night Dota were a thing for those people that were competed in that. I mean, I was a regular caster then, and I started off as an observer, and then I got into casting off afterwards. It's just, it really is hard to like kind of keep track of everything you kind of need to do. Yeah, what I ended up doing was like mostly I ended up just like talking a bunch of just talking a bunch of crap, and then once I see something on the minimap is like clashing together, it just go there. I mean, that's really all. That's really all it seems to be. And you know what? Apparently I was half decent because I got picked up a bunch of places. I got flown out to an event. I mean, low standards, I guess.
Cyclops.
Oh god, let's not bring him up again. Apparently, from the test I recorded, I burned him out of fucking nowhere, and so let's just kind of leave it as that.
You literally read it for an hour and a half on how much I hate.
Yeah. That discussion got derailed
Really hard.
It's because of that damn game you casted of mine. So mad.
I'm sorry.
But alright, let's move on.
Star Ladder. It just finished. It finished over the weekend. Bit of an interesting one, I want to say. For those who follow professional Dota 2, Newbie got destroyed. And then LGD had to play up against Liquid, and LGD actually didn't play terribly. I want to say.
Pretty good. I watched the whole best of 5.
That's a new squad. A newly put together squad, and they took a game off of Liquid. And Liquid still looked amazing.
In amazing fashion. That second game was amazing.
They outdrafted the shit out of Liquid.
Yeah.
I want to say it was mainly just an outdraft, but like you outdrafted Kuroki, like of all people to get outdrafted. It's pretty close to outdrafting. Well, it is literally outdrafting a TI champion.
Yeah. I'd say him and Puppy are the two that you want to sort of look up to in drafting. So to take a game off in that style where it was just pure like, hey, this is the draft we've got, and it just beats you.
Yeah.
You know what I loved about Starladder? All the underdogs are coming back. Nesky, Complexity, Penguin, Infamous. Like, how sick.
Yeah. Kingwood's been pretty big on the rise, actually. They won a bunch of qualifiers and stuff like that. They've been looking absolutely on fire. It's an all Polish squad as well, which means hopefully they get into... I'm not too sure what their status is for Katowice, but hopefully they get through to that. I think they are actually through to that. So they'll be playing on home turf for that, which is pretty damn big. I think that's the first time they've ever had a Dota 2 team playing there. It's on home turf. Because normally it's, Virtus Pro for CSGO playing at Katowice, and, everyone's like, yeah, Virtus Pro, woo! Because it's Polish, of course.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
But having a Dota 2 team to cheer for, that's pretty big. I mean, I remember half of those guys from a lot of their, like, really, really low tier teams and stuff like that. Back, talking, like, at the start of Dota 2. Like, watching them on European and CIS teams. Kind of getting mixed and matched around. And, they finally found their feet. So, Kingwin, big props to them. They're doing hard work. They're in good work.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, so what else was pretty big from Starladder? I want to say that you guys probably want to talk about that a little bit. I mean...
Like the fact that Infamous won the South American qualifier and it's just full of Canadians. Look, I find it really funny. I'm sorry. Anyway, moving on.
Let's not.
NA Dota, best Dota?
They've got one, like, what is he, Colombian? Or, no, he's
Argentinian.
Yeah, Argentinian.
Argentinian, yeah. Won the South American qualifier.
Yeah.
Look, I once there for a couple of obvious reasons. I do not want to have another discussion on nationality of teams because I've been dealing way too much with that recently. So let's just kind of move on. All right, main discussion. I think. Actually, Prey, do you have any more tournament stuff you want to talk about before we move on? Or
I mean, what we've got. Just quickly touching on local tournaments that are happening right now and into the future. We've got AEF Season 4 that that just started today, or tonight, if you want to say it. Started about an hour or so ago. So good luck to all the teams as well as players that are playing in that. It's pretty much the biggest that Australia has got right now. It's pretty large prize pools. I want to say that, obviously as a disclaimer, I was personally involved in that project for a whole year, ran 3 seasons of it, as well as a couple of other tournaments on the side. So I'm not too sure if you want to call it bias or not, but I'm no longer with them. So good luck, as I said, to everyone who was playing that. But that's pretty much it for Australia right now, and local news, as well as international news, until we get more word from qualifiers, which is coming up.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Let's move on to the big news that happened. In the past couple of days? The big Dota 2 7.08 spring cleaning update is out.
Such a good pack.
It was good.
I feel sad because my computer died just before I could update it.
Dude, that's rough. But yeah, before we go, yeah, before we go into the patch itself, I kind of want to bring up IceFrog's tweet, because IceFrog tweeted just before the patch came out that he would, instead of doing a couple of big patches a year that we're kind of used to, after events or pre-events and stuff like that, he's gonna trial out for the next 6 months a patch every 2 weeks. Now this is gonna be this I feel like is kind of a big deal, and I just kind of want to grasp what everybody thinks of it, because in my I kind of like the idea of it, as it were, but I gotta admit I kind of miss the idea of just one big patch, because then it's basically Christmas. It comes with a hero release, a fuck ton of cosmetics, big changes, and then it's basically a new game for ages.
It's been a whole day. I pretty much take the whole day off work and just sit there reading through it. Or I mean, take work off. I just don't get any work done.
Yeah, and then just open a bunch of hats. But yeah,
me some hats.
Yeah, but yeah. I'm just gonna open it to the floor. What do we think about this patch philosophy, as it were?
I think the biggest pro is that you avoid situations like that Mask of Madness, Phase Boots drum meta, Spin to Win, Troll Warlord, Sniper, Jug situation.
But I got so much MMR off of it!
Of course, everyone got good MMR off that. But I think you avoid that. One of the biggest pros is that, of course, it's a really quick turnaround and quick refinement. But on the back end of that, you avoid those situations, for example 7.07, Lycan was really underpicked for a very long time, barely changed for the whole patch, and suddenly the meta develops where he's very, very popular. You avoid that. You don't really get that situation where you get to see
someone snowball for 2-3 months straight, or just one specific hero.
Yeah. But you also don't get to see those situations where people kind of realize they missed that a hero is good, or they missed that actually the way to play this patch is a little bit different to what they thought it was eventually. When 7.07 came out, I thought that Bounty Hunter was going to be really good, and yeah, he's picked here and there, but he's actually not that strong in this patch. Yeah. But kind of lets you evolve the meta that evolves just because of player preference. To be honest, it's just player preference. People think that this hero is good, they do well, and then that develops a meta, for example. But really, then someone comes along with this Lycan pick that's actually really, really strong, and then he's suddenly in the meta. You kind of avoid those situations because every 2 weeks you're refining. So personally, I'm on the fence.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds pretty good to me. I love it when you see a patch come in and a few weeks later people go, oh, this is actually how you play this hero. Like we saw with Tiny, how with the tree grab change came in, his win rate just dropped to like 40% or I think even lower. But then, people started seeing him in pro matches, especially they started playing him as a position 1 or 2 carry and just started rolling face with him. And then from like nothing really even changed, but his win percentage just went straight up because people were playing him as a carry instead of like a bursting blink. You're dead in 1 second hero.
Yeah. Was it during the summit? Everyone was like, "Oh no, Artor, no, please don't pick Tiny," and then like you just get Tiny and just get dumpstered every single time. And they did pretty well on a number of other heroes in the tournament, but I felt like every single time they picked up Arteezy's Tiny, it was never gonna end up well. But then like all of a sudden the pub pick rate just like flew out of nowhere.
Skyrocketed.
And then there was just like this massive drop like a week after Summit because everyone just forgot that Tiny was a hero, or like was like, oh, we have to pair it with Io again. And then now it's coming back, as an offlaner. I mean, I'm not too sure how much you guys are seeing it in your pubs, but I was seeing it a lot. Fellow casters are, yelling and screaming about how stupid good this hero is because the new status resistance changes. So you're sitting around, you get stunned for 2 seconds. More like, oh, I'm stunned after a second. Oh, no, now I can, avatar you up into the air and kill you. All right.
The stun touches you and then you're ready to move again. More like
yeah,
it.
no. As a support, I hate that.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's rough.
What can I do? What can I do? I just need to pick like AoE disables now. AoE ground target disables.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's rough.
I think one of the.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go on. My
Go
bad.
on.
I was just going to say, like with them changing the patches, if they're going to be doing it every 2 weeks, I like that. You can sometimes have, I don't like how you can sometimes have a bit of disconnect with Valve when you see something or people realize something is either broken or getting abused, and like it does take like sometimes feels way too long to get changed. So I think the 2 week patch, if they do this, I'm not too sure how big these patches are going to be. If they're going to be like constant balance patches or just sort of small updates, but that's just sort of one positive of that I like to see if they're going to be doing this every 2 weeks.
Can we talk about the most important part of this patch? The ban hammer?
Oh god. Okay, before we go into the details of it, I just kind of want to add my last thoughts to the patch idea. I come from like a lot of my competitive stuff, aside from Dota, is fighting games, and that's a primarily console thing where patches are like few and far in between. And I kind of like that Dota always takes a while after its update itself, because we don't know if it's because we don't know if something is good because we don't know how to play against it, or because it's actually broken. I think that's sometimes that can be a hard line. That can be like sometimes hard to tell when you only have, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month at a time. I think I like the idea of the longer patches better. I think we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, definitely pros and cons.
Yeah.
Both sides.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, let's bring up the kind of like a bunch of the details on this latest spring cleaning update. Okay, we'll start off with Trap because she seems to be very excited to talk about one particular change.
So excited!
Go ahead.
Okay, so, bit of background. I come from League, right? Like, I'm a Diamond Master player in League. And
What's that? What's Diamond?
it's
He's
like,
good.
Okay, alright.
It's
I don't
good.
know. Honest, like no
Ancient.
troll. I have no idea about.
Yeah, that's fine.
How that compares.
the levels we have now, like Herald, blah blah blah, they just completely correlate to League. So like Ancient is sort of where I sit at in League, or Divine, like low Divine. Really.
Okay.
But so the good thing about League is that I can never talk in game, right? So obviously talking in game in Dota is a very big part of Dota, and obviously I'm bringing up the female thing here. I get abused quite a bit, right? And so the amount of times, like you know when you report someone and it shows up, like we've recently taken action against blah blah blah. That's the most satisfying feeling in the world, right?
And now you know. Now you know they have a 6-month ban.
Just
If
send
I am
it to the sin bin.
responsible, if I am responsible for just one 6-month ban, it will be all worth it.
6 months of watching videos. What do you? Where is your life?
I
Oh,
mean,
gosh.
I like that change, but the biggest change I like is that the thing I liked about League the most is because you can't communicate in game and typing takes too long. It's a very big ping-based system, right? So you can ping everything in League, like absolutely everything. And I like that they're doing that now for Dota, because like if I don't want to have to talk at mic, what I can do is I can ping like rune here, you know, or like retreat. I really like that they've done that now, and
Yeah.
they've basically made everything pingable now. And the courier items redelivery,
Mm,
oh,
so
it makes my
good.
life so much easier.
So good. Support player, so good. No, it doesn't take
Anyway,
forever to get for me to get wards.
that's my two favorite. Obviously, the very like shallow things that I like about this patch, but I'm in the same place as Zero in this. Like, as much as I hated having that long between patches, it was always like, you know, that excitement when it drops at like 3 or 4 in the morning for us, and you spend like 3 hours just like reading the notes, and like you can't wait to play it.
Yep.
So I like that,
Getting
but
purge
I'm
review up.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
like League, you have to update League every 2 days because there's a new patch every 2 days. So maybe we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited to try it.
Don't forget, it's only for 6 months as well. It's just a trial.
Yeah, I can
Doesn't
ban
mean it's
someone
permanent,
in 6 months. It'll be back to normal.
No. The patching is only lasting 6 months. That mofo is still being banned for 6 months. It's still not won't be back at all. For all we know, for you know, he can go to the same game as you, get reported again, and boom, he's gone for like a year.
Just need to add like some updates for every time he tries to load Dota and gets real salty that he can't.
Let me know. Yeah.
Real
talk,
sad
though.
violin every time he loads Dota.
Anyway,
Real
my-
talk though. Be the first professional player that gets permabanned.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's yeah.
Who do you think is going to be the first
people
person?
are gonna purposefully stream snipe all the streamers,
Yeah.
and they're gonna get them perma-banned.
I
I'm
think
waiting for.
Bulldog, personally.
I don't think
just for
no,
memes.
'cause I think Sing Sing will get done. I think people will snipe Sing Sing on all like 4 of his accounts and just like perma him, which is I think, yeah, I think what Sheepstick was yeah, like Sheepstick as well as him have been playing a lot of party games recently just because of that fact. Same with Wagamama. They've just been playing like five-man party games because they're like, oh, we don't want to get our mains like just banned, just permanently banned. So I think
Sing Sing kind of deserve.
It's look. Well, Sing Sing's audience is kind of trolly as it is, so you know what? It's probably the safe decision. It's probably the safe decision.
yeah. I mean,
I
like
watch-
I-
Go on, bro, go on, sorry.
Sorry. But I also watch like Goric. I think it is how you pronounce his name, like streaming and stuff. And like he's the most PMA player, and then like every so often he'll just like put on his mic and just be like, you know, screw you, you're playing wrong. What are you doing? Like you gotta follow my direction. Come on, you know, I'm top 100 rank. You have to listen to me. Yeah, I'm telling you how to win this game, and like. It's a PMA twist on it, but I'm just like, oh, like nowadays, I think he's just gonna hold on to that mute button just that little bit longer and have a think about it, which I think is a good change, but it's also a bad change because those lessons sometimes you do need to learn, especially in that high MMR bracket where if you're top 1,000 in a
You
game
can still get
and
banned.
you make a mistake like that, like you shouldn't be in the top 1,000 sometimes.
It's
Yeah.
gotta be a combination though. Like it's gotta be a combination of abandons and like different types of
Yeah.
routes. Like they can't just.
You don't.
Yeah, but if you just get sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I wouldn't be surprised if the like that Valve had some internal tool that would check, like go against pro players or well-known streamers and their usernames that they know of,
Yeah.
and they would be weighted much less if they're getting reported. For example, like I wouldn't be surprised if there's something like that.
Yeah,
They already track all their IDs right through the leaderboard, and that updates dynamically. They don't have to do it. They don't have to go in and manually update it. So
right.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. But I mean, those guys' audiences are huge, and like if you just have like a mass reporting of like one, I mean, it eventually has. It's gonna stand out. It eventually has to be looked at. So there's not.
I was going to say 20 reports from one game and goes, the Pushy here.
I'm not sure about
Change
that. But yeah, obviously the 6-month ban change isn't the only thing that's come up. We also had a bunch of aesthetic stuff. I kind of want to say, or like a bunch of like user experience stuff. So we got a new hero profile. We got a new section just for to read patch notes in game, which I personally think is very nice. We got a last hit trainer. We got an absolute bunch of stuff. So I mean, it's kind of
last hit trainer. I gave it a go before. It's actually not too bad. And
Pretty good, man. Yeah.
yeah, it's actually pretty good. I mean, I tried it for a little bit and. I'm trash, so I got silver. So you know, but yeah, I think it's good.
I'd like to see him take it a heap further as well. You can see there's already a few spots like blank spots there where you sort of select that first round. So I hope they take it real far and start getting a way for people to sort of learn like lane mechanics and stuff like that, which I think is
like learning creep equilibrium and stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff like that. Even just like even more technical stuff like pulling creep aggro and like de-aggroing towers, stuff like that.
Real talk though, this patch dropped halfway through a tournament's qualifying rounds.
Right. I think what was it?
Star Ladder Group A played on one patch and Group B played on another patch. This was pretty big, I want to say, because like going into that tournament, a lot of teams and stuff had already adjusted the patch. Like newbie was always like, "Yep, we know these heroes and stuff like that." They were probably going to play like heaps of Nugget and Disruptor, and then all these heroes start being picked up as well. I think also a lot of teams are still disrespecting, the classic Lycan picks and stuff like that. But we saw a lot more Meteor Hammer. That was a pretty big thing. And
What is like a 12-second cooldown reduction, right?
Yeah, only a 12-second cooldown reduction. And we're seeing that being picked up more and more. Mainly,
Bro, legit, you know why? It's because you can use it on every creep wave now. That's like, honestly,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah,
that
that's
12-second reduction is, it's down to 28 seconds. Literally every single creep wave, you just hit. And especially with heroes like Nagasan, who for some odd reason is coming back into meta. As is Mirana. What the hell?
I haven't seen Mirana at all.
Man,
Yeah.
Mirana's been amazing lately.
Mm.
I haven't been keeping up with like the very, very latest tournaments, so that's probably why.
That's fair enough. Enchantress also got picked up a few more times. Jakiro was picked once. Yeah, Enchantress offlane. It's that NA special that IX Mike used to run. Like it's still coming back. It's still there. Lion wasn't picked up, which was a bit of a weird one because he's now got a slow attached to his mana drain. Not too sure how many people look towards that. Lycan got nerfed, still got picked.
Yeah. That line thing, it looks good on paper, but I just don't think that.
You just make yourself very open. At that point, you might as well just pick up a Shadow Shaman, I would think, because he can. It feels like he can do a lot more.
I remember a couple of years back, it used to be the old meme of if you want a hex, why not just pick Lion, as opposed to Shadow Shaman. But with Shadow Shaman's base damage being ridiculously high, the fact that no one could deal with wards, it feels like, especially with the talent changes. I think it is much more the tables have turned on whose hex is better.
Yeah.
Something happened in these patch notes that has never happened before.
Oh.
Didn't get nerfed, guys.
Oh, yeah, true.
He didn't even get the fake nerf. Do you remember? A while ago?
Oh no!
Guys.
He did get nerfed. Soaring recipe increased by 15 gold.
There we go.
Why soaring anymore?
Also, who
for
comes up with that
decent
number?
amount of
They're
people.
Let me add 15 gold to
Oh,
Soul
people
Ring
better
recipe.
than me, obviously.
Also, Force Stuff takes an extra point, extra 1/10 of a second to travel, which is actually like having spectated a few games after that change. It does feel a bit slower, and it is noticeable. And I think that people might actually be able to now hit people with projectiles through Force Staff.
Did you see the meme from Starwater?
No.
They were just
Oh,
like,
the
who would
Force-
win, that Ursa or a Foster?
I said that to you. I was like, this is such a Maddie meme as well.
Yeah, you sent it to me.
Yeah, who would win? It's like the Ursa, like listing all of the things about his lore, and it's like versus 4 pushy boys. Man,
No, I think
just,
they talk
Just
about like you talk about the most value item in Dota. In my opinion, it's Foster. Like I build it almost every game.
It's never a bad item. Like you can get like
Yeah.
a Desolator and go, this was a waste, but you can never get a 4-staff and go, this was a waste. It's always a good item.
It's such a simple item, but like, it sounds weird, but the skill cap of that item is so high. Like you can do so much with that item. It's insane.
Yeah, dude. When I first picked it up, when I first started playing like Dota 2, because there was like a massive break for me from Dota 1 and 2. It's just like, okay, 4 stuff. Okay, I can push myself. Oh wait, I forgot I can actually push other people.
remember back in the day when Blink Dagger used to cost mana as well as having no cooldown attached to it, so you could just use it whenever, and that was like the most broken item. Now it's like actually 4 stuff is now, because like sure it's a little bit of mana, and obviously it's got a 20-second over 20-second cooldown.
23, just nerfed.
Yeah, 23. But you can move literally any time. So it's like, what the hell? Like, this is the old Blink Dagger, the thing that you tried to get rid of. And
Yeah.
it's still here.
Well, Blink is never going away.
It's like
Nah.
It'll never go away.
You think winning a game feels good, but have you ever stuffed your carry into the middle of a fight just so you could run away?
Competitive matches doing that. Like, not even the middle of a scrim, like, legit tournament game, you just like, pushy boys straight in the fountain. You're stuck there, mate. It's like playing like Shadow Demon, like imprisoning someone, or like
Oh yeah.
as they're about to get stunned by your carry, just a KS. It's or like playing Lion or any other like large nuker. You're just like, that one is mine.
And you're dead now. And you're dead now.
Is Shadow Fiend got a nerf?
Kill
I
steal.
need the fucking nerf.
Shadow Fiend, I think he got a nerf to his early Necromastery, right?
Oh
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I'm talking Shadow Demon.
Shadow
Shadow
Demon.
Demon. Shadow
Mm.
Demon.
Shadow
I-
Demon's
No, he didn't go
super-
to
He
change.
needs
Super
a fucking
balanced.
nerf.
Shaman got
Oh, he needs a nerf.
Shaman got like, oh no, Ether Shock now does stuff less, but it's still the biggest part of that hero is still the ridiculous base damage you have, and the fact that you just drop, a bunch of snakes and they just
Yeah,
take forever to
They
kill.
nerfed the
Get the
shackle
refresher
damage,
shard.
but you don't shackle for the damage. You shackle for the 8-second shackle. Like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
I take that talent every time. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck about snakes. Like,
So kind of going back to what SF, we're still seeing it picked up a lot more. Blitz said it's like the easiest win hero. We're seeing a lot of like Boots Aquila drums and stuff like that with like
Seeing a
the
lot of
occasion-
clockwork with Shadow Fiend. I feel like every
mean-
game I'm seeing
Clockwork.
Shadow Fiend.
Cogs give souls. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like,
All right.
What universe does that make sense?
Dude, don't you remember the change the old Veno Roshan strat to get souls?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh man, that was classic. That was crazy.
TI3 threats, man.
Mm.
I miss level 1 Roshan. I want back. Bring me back my level 1 Roshan.
Mineski used it as a bait.
Oh, bro, that was so good.
Oh, for the first time ever.
Your Skewer of the Gods, Ice sits on the high ground Radiant side, and like all of Mineski sitting inside Roche Pit, and someone just walks on by from Liquid and just. From Liquid and just gets pushy boyed all the way in. It was beautiful. Matu just never knew what was happening until he was dead. I think Batu like halfway through that skill was like, what, what, and then just not even lucky shots can save you that day.
I just. That's great. I love it. I just watched it then.
It's
So
beautiful.
good.
It's like alliance level shit happening there. It's
Ah, mate.
So we talked about the Meteor Hammer changes. What do you guys think of the other item changes? Probably biggest nerf is Battle Fury, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Dude, yeah, that's a big one. Or at least it feels like a big
Yeah.
one.
I
Quick
don't play
bonus
too
no
many
longer
carries.
works.
I didn't know that that Battle Fury gave the damage bonus. I didn't know that. I don't know how I missed that.
the creep
Oh, the
damage.
creep damage bonus?
The creep
It was
damage
always
bonus.
yeah, it was always carried across from Quelling Blade. I think the biggest
Yeah.
one I want to say is the cooldown nerf
BKB?
/ buff on BKB.
Yeah, for sure. Wow.
Definitely.
So Maddie, did you how many games of Starladder did you see that have a massive impact on? I'm not too sure how much of
Wait.
Starladder you saw, but
I saw Group B play in the quals.
Okay.
Like I've seen it in my pubs. Like it is massive. Like you think you run a fight, your cooldown's reset in 70 seconds anyway. Like it's just massive. Like
mm,
ugh. And massive as in I've been destroyed the last 5 games in a row because of it. So
yeah. I mean, what the change from it used to be like 55 seconds, and a lot of heroes that pick up BKB also have like
yeah,
cooldown
the shorter
reduction
cooldowns.
talents.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like it'd be up back at like 40 seconds or something. So like you take a
Being able
fight,
to
you
pop
use
it
it.
twice. Yeah.
Yeah, you take a fight, you use it, you might lose the fight, but then you get out alive. They try and fight you again, you just use it again, and no
Yeah.
one else has cooldowns anyway. So you just win.
Especially for Roche fights. You know how Roche fights usually last like over a minute. Like it's
2-minute
massive.
Roshan fights.
Yeah.
God.
For real.
The best kind of fights. My favorite.
I'm so tricky. You drop
It's
wards
good.
and they come off cooldown again.
Yeah, Pushy boy comes on cooldown like 8 times. It's great.
Oh man, someone gets shoved all the way from Fountain Inn.
So much pushy, boys. But dude, yeah. I mean, a lot of the item stuff doesn't seem to be too noticeable. I mean, there's like a couple of big stuff here and there, but I don't see any huge changes item wise. I mean, I mostly look at fucking the heroes and holy shit.
First buff I've seen on Lena in a good year. She used to
Right.
be like one of the top meta picks for mid lane. Everyone at Starladder was like, "What's happened to Lena? What's happened to Lena?" I've been sitting here for like the past 6 months going, Lena is gonna eventually get shadow buffed into oblivion and like become like that first pick ban material again. She got buffed again.
It only took her 3 years the first time. Though.
Yo, 3 years of buffs and she became like Black Shatan's wet dream.
Bro,
Sorry.
this hero is like one of my favorite heroes to play, but God, she's so bad lately.
Man, alright,
It's rough
the
to
two
play.
heroes that Shatan ever played properly, like when he was playing mid, were like Viper and Lena. And after, like when it was such a large period of time, like Lena was just getting buffed every patch, and like Shatan was streaming this one time, like this is right before a patch that nerfed her, and he was just playing it, and he was just like running around just blowing people up. It was like, and you're dead, and you're dead, and you're dead, and you're dead, and look at me, I've got 25 bloodstone charges. What are you gonna do? You can't even kill me. I don't have any HP growth, but I've got a bloodstone with 25 charges. And like ever since saying that, I'm just like, Lena is gonna get nerfed and then shadow buffed like six to 7 patches in a row. Everyone's gonna play her, and then she's gonna get nerfed again. It's like a life cycle. It's worse than Arteezy with EG and Secret.
I mean, that's
I feel
pretty
like
bad.
I think it's primarily because of Fiery Soul, right? Like, it's just because of
Yeah.
Fiery Soul, it's really hard to bounce that hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that base intelligence increase is going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty
Three-
good.
Random variance has been reduced by 6, so that's like the minimum and maximum amount of damage you can do in a single right click, which is huge. Because when you think about it, like Chaos Knight has the biggest variance, obviously, because it's Chaos and Knight.
Chaos. Yeah.
It's like variants of like 20 something.
Bro, it's huge, yeah.
Yeah.
You hit for like 48 or like 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hit like a wet fish or like, you know,
A
you hit,
truck.
like
Shadow Shark.
or like Thor's hammer is coming down on the earth. There is no halfway. Like I swear. I don't know about you guys how much CK you play, but like whenever I see it being played, like bro, you see this person like CS like once or twice, and like you can reliably hit it underneath tower usually, but only if you have Quelling Blade because it's the only way to guarantee that you can get that last hit. Because of the huge damage variance.
My CK is my horrible pos 4 hero I like to run. Horrible in pos 4, but I just love playing it.
Pause 4. Goddamn.
You
My
see
goat.
that
He's got
wing runner?
minus armor, he's got a stun, you get the Ags, you can make your carry 4 illusions, bro.
Hey,
Fuck
yeah,
yeah.
the vision with the illusions.
Yeah, man.
It's like a starter but on
I might have-
steroids.
I might have
Yeah,
to
bro.
give this a go.
Have you tried Venge in the new patch?
Haven't
Yeah,
played her at
Venge-
all for a
Venge
long
is
Well,
time.
her level 25 talent, her stun pierces spell immunity, right? So like, this new BKB change don't mean shit. Like,
But you look at the other one. Was it 25%? Or was it 35% extra vengeance aura damage? That's
Nothing to sniff at.
I think I've had this discussion before with a number of people about talents, and you look at a lot of these talents and you're like, both the talents are amazing, and like if one of them was changed, the other one would get picked up, and that is literally one of them. Where you go, I could have 2 BKB piercing interrupts, or I could have this one, which is, you know, swap obviously, and it's amazing, or I could have a shitload of damage with that swap, like, and that damage also goes across onto your allies. I think, you know, some of the changes are like so weird though with the talents. But I think that's another discussion for another day. It's like 10 hours worth of podcast.
It's a lot. The moment where you can
Yeah.
say a level 25 talent is situational, it means it's in a good spot.
There's a lot like that though, for sure.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. So other than like the items, I don't think there's anything else. What do you guys think of Aeon Disc? Have you guys tried this item at all?
I love that item.
Best item on Silencer ever.
Yeah. Silencer,
It's-
Enigma as well, being able to just turn around in the last second.
Black Hole.
Yeah,
I
normally-
think if you're a support and you can afford it, pick it up. Always.
Okay.
But like you gotta, I guess you gotta kind of weigh, but like I don't know, I kind of see like as a support Aeon Disc or like Lotus Orb, kind of like similar roles, kind of keep you alive. One's like more for yourself personally. Ones you can chuck on your carry, of course.
Yeah, well, I do it like if they're a very spell heavy team, I always go Lotus. But you know, with the CKs and the Wraith Kings and the Svens, like Aeon Disc is so value. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I actually haven't picked it up in my games yet. I'm just. It's not just that. I haven't used a lot of like some of the new items that were introduced recently, but other than Spirit Vessel, because Spirit Vessel is awesome. but yeah.
What about Nullifier? That item.
I think that item is
Oh my
broken.
god.
I think that item is fucking broken. It costs like double how much it costs, bro. It's tilt that item. Bro.
How many Ninjas Prophets have you had just go Orchid Nullifier on you? Just like, hello, I am AoE Doom. It's like,
Yeah,
I'm
what
just-
is this
I-
global
I'm just-
doom?
I am Global Doom. What you gonna do?
Quads as well. Like
Yeah,
that
quad.
item.
Oh,
Ranks-
dude, Quap is
ranks
so
with that
annoying.
item?
You know, it's a bit of a throwback, but the first time I ever saw it being picked up, it was Venado, playing for Sugoi Squad, and he picked it up on a Juggernaut as a third item, and he just picked it up out of nowhere, and I was like, what the hell is he doing? He then proceeded to use it onto an OD, who never got his BK off in a single fight because of it, and and it was Gucksmith as well, and like Gucksmith was it looked like he just got tilted. That was game number 1. And like that was so close in so many other points in time, but like that Nullify pickup was just amazing. And like I literally saw it win a game on the back of this one item, which was completely new. It was like less than a week old at that point in time. No one had picked it up before, and it was just like it just dumpstered this kid. And it's like,
Real,
oh my
yeah.
god,
Super
like,
strong
this
versus
item's
heroes.
stupid.
Super strong versus heroes that are relying on BKB. 100%.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah. We touched on it a bit earlier, but how good do we actually think that the Lion Slow is? I think obviously, as I just said, Shadow Shaman is probably the better pick. But like now, all Lion has is he has a stun, a hex, a slow, and a big ass damage nuke. He seems like he seems like he's the ideal support.
I just don't see like getting mana drain early as like a viable option for him. Been seeing like Line in a couple pro games lately, and seeing the strat go like stun hex, but then when it gets to like late stage of the game, the slow from mana drain is not really going to be the deciding factor of where you're going to get a kill. So I feel like it's great on paper, but I just don't ever see it being viable. If you get it early, you lack the damage to get the kill or lack the lockdown. Later, I just don't see Line being the one to sort of front line or to, I don't know. I just don't see it doing too much.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My argument for why I think Mana Drain is just a bad spell in general is because Lion's a support almost certainly all the time, and as a support, you don't want to be standing there channeling a spell unless you're like Shadow Shaman or like a Bane or something where it's like critical for you to do that.
Proper lockdown.
Yeah.
With
That's
Lion.
why I picked Shaman over Lion every single
Yeah.
time. Like, why would you ever?
It-
I mean,
if-
the nuke's not even worth it. Like,
Yeah,
they have a
like
BKB, it's over. Like,
you finger one person, they die, or you could, use a Shadow Shaman, like use ulti and just take an entire base.
push towers.
Like,
Yeah.
You just take an
you
entire
can
lane.
get that same kill that you were going to get with Lion ulti anyway, but then you
Yeah.
can push an objective with it at the same time, or like steamroll that onto another kill.
Yeah.
The hero doesn't do too much other than like pure damage, and yeah, of course he's got 2 CCs with his stun and his hex, but it feels like you pretty much kind of have to max stun because it's such a low duration if you don't max it, and
Yeah.
does really shit damage at level 1. The only possible place I can see Lion with the mana drain being like relevant, with not even this is slow, but this would just be even before the slow was introduced, is when you're versing like an offlaner that is really immobile and is relying on mana, maybe like Bristleback or something like that. I don't know, but even then Bristleback just runs at you and auto attacks you while you're mana draining.
I think up against like heroes like Brewmaster and Bristleback, it's probably one of the strongest heroes. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It is like unless you get a good matchup with it, and like you can't pick up Shadow Shaman because it's already been banned for some odd reason.
Yeah.
I just don't think that we're really going to be seeing too much in terms of line picks.
Yeah, very situational.
Plus, so many teams are now running aggressive try-lanes anyway, and Lions. It's not that he's not strong, but he has no HP and he doesn't do enough damage early on to really contribute to aggressive to defensive try-lanes.
Even comparing him to Shadow Shaman, it actually took like 3-4 patches of buffs to bring Shadow Shaman back, and I think the biggest one was maybe the addition of the refresher shard on Roshan. On top of like how much damage did they have to give to Shadow Shaman before people started seeing him again? And so like until they do something similar to Lion, I don't think we're gonna see him anytime soon.
It was the damage, the deny bonus, and the refresher shard. Like the fact that denies are worth so much, and he deals you so much damage, and he's a support. It's pretty strong.
You are literally a 4th core as a Shadow Shaman.
Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah.
You get that game past that 50-minute mark, you are a core. It's stupid. You can be +5, +6 even, and you just walk out with like arcane boots, wand, couple of TPs. You just buy like a smoke and you just like smoke up. You push wave and they can't see it happening unless they're washing the wave itself.
And just boom, boom, boom.
And you either shock the wave a couple of times, outside their base, drop the wards. You have a refresher shot, drop 2 wards.
Shaman's one of those weird heroes that has like really high strength for some reason. Like his
High strength game.
Shit. Like,
But low stun.
Yeah, he does too.
he hits real hard in the beginning too. Like a couple auto attacks on my carry.
Yeah, his right clicks are no joke, man. It's rough.
I love Shadow Shaman if you come.
Well, yeah, me too.
Notable buffs. Oh, sorry, go on. I was just I was trying to get to Alchemist, my boy. My boy Alchemist.
just trying for a lead in. Nah, go ahead, mate. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I was saying, CK, that's my secret 4-role hero, but really Alchemist is my boy 4-role hero. This hero is no joke. Try it, man. Boots, get your bounty runes, first item solo crest, max unstable concoction, and your acid spray, bro. Forget about it. This hero is so strong, man. And look at this level 10 talent. -8 seconds on your unstable concoction. You charge off for 4 seconds, you stun the guy for 4 seconds, bam. By the time he's out of the stun, it's up again. What's up? You're done. Boom, you're done now.
Yeah, done.
Boom.
Who would win? 5 players of the utmost caliber, one greedy boy.
The greediest
One
boy
greedy
will win.
boy. With 4 pushy
One
boys.
greedy Roma.
Yo, if you're a greedy boy, you can afford to buy 4 pushy boys.
Yeah, bro. And then, what's up? You get your ags on your 5-roll CK. What's up? That's it.
Wow, that is actually.
Nah, I'm just
That's-
joking. You probably wouldn't want an Alchemist and a CK as supports on your team. But, like, you do get the ags upgrade. I don't know. I think this hero is not strong, but fun. I think it's still pretty shit, but
Yeah, like, in theory.
Yeah.
Getting him closer to that playable point. I think we could. I can speak for Ice Frog when I say that there's a special place in his heart for him. But
Oh.
probably not the Radiance build. Not the Radiance build.
Oh, the Radiance build is so boring, though. It's so boring.
I mean, like now it
Yeah.
only does like 35 damage on illusions, but like you can play any other position you want. You can go for that S and Y blink build. I've seen that happen. That's insane. You charge it up, or like Shadow Blade or whatever. You just like charge up the stun. You just blink on them. You just like drop the stun with your ultimate still running. Drop an acid spray on them. It's like you're just dead. You just get choppy. You get choppy, boy. You get slapped
Choppy boy.
down.
I have
You
a
just
hatred
chop,
for
chop.
Alchemist. Hatred.
Oh, really?
All Hero Challenge? You know the All Hero Challenge?
All
I'm on
right.
my 8th go around, right? The second go on that All Hero Challenge. He's my
Yeah.
second lowest win rate hero. Took me 23 games.
no.
Wow.
23.
You're just playing on the wrong patch, mate.
Gotta run him
Manny.
as the Roma.
If it makes you feel any better, I think I still haven't finished off Jug because every single time I pick it, we just get dumpstered.
Yeah, dude, every time you joke.
The jump's good.
Hey, I gotta say, I did Meepo in 2 tries.
I got Meatball and
I
gave
don't
up
think-
completely.
I don't play Meepo.
I think I'm still stuck on
Actually-
Bloodseeker. Even and that was even when he was really strong. Like it was like
Oh,
that
no.
period when he was really strong.
Dude, my
No,
best
that,
win
that
rate
buff the
hero.
push stuff. Could see him again.
Pushy boy.
Yeah.
My
Just
best
get another
win rate hero
4
is
pushy
Chen.
boy lineup.
Chen.
Is
Chen.
Chen.
I have
come on.
an 89% win rate with Chen.
How many
Yeah.
games? How many
10
games?
10 games. I've lost one.
That's not insignificant actually. For Chen.
You get the centaurs. You buy a pushy boy. You push the centaur up. Stumpy. Easy.
Pushy stompy boys.
Yeah, and then you get the ancient talent. Then you pushy boy the ancients, especially the golems. They give you the HP when you're pushing high ground.
Yeah.
So good.
Too
Play
good. Watching
Chen.
Scythe play that hero was insane. But was it the send back creeps onto the off lane?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you guys seen that happen a few times in
Yeah.
Pro? I'm surprised that Chen hasn't been picked up a lot more. I know a couple of Australian guys do actually play Chen and have been experimenting with that. I remember back for the WESG qualifiers, we saw a few Chen picks happening and stuff like that, and we were like, ooh.
Chen's so hard though. 'cause,
Toys?
like creeps don't spawn till a minute, so you.
I'm never upset when I see Chen.
And then you get in lane, you're stealing their XP, you're not getting any gold.
Well, with this
Right.
send back now, maybe gives you something to do before that minute mark at least.
Win the off lane by playing a support. Win an off lane by being a jungler.
Actually, try solo offlane with Shaman. Guarantee you win it every time.
Chen.
Solo offlane with Shaman.
You
No
sure
one
about that?
expects
Uh,
No, try it. Try it.
Spanish Inquisition lane. No one expects it, so you just win.
Let's try it. Spirit Vessel Pushy Boy. That's all you need.
Is this gonna start like a Dota post about calling
Hope
core stuff
not.
pushy boys?
Oh no, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with
Yeah, fuck. If my podcast starts a meme, I'm happy. Even if it is a
I'm
small
gonna
one.
change- I'm gonna
I'm
change
happy
This
the
is going.
Twitter
This is
bio.
going straight to Ife's next patch. Full stuff changed to Pushy Boy.
I legit wanted it to be like an Easter egg thing, like back in Dota 1 days, where if you random Ursa, it'll just randomly have the name Fuzzy Wuzzy, which was amazing.
Blinky Bill. It's
Yes,
called,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
I want
Jack
it.
is now called Blinky Bill.
For some reason.
Why not, man? Why not? There's no hero called Bill, so kind of feels bad. But
New hero confirmed.
He just
maybe that
it's a new hero in
could be the
the.
fourth element.
Oh god, man.
So just on Chen, I'm just looking at Dota buff and the recent meta changes, and Chen's had a 4% win rate increase.
4%.
4%.
In-
That's huge.
If
That
you
is
check
actually
it
pretty
on-
big.
Is he not
It-
last played anymore?
If you check it on the highest MMR bracket, it should be even higher.
Let's have a look.
Because
Yeah,
if
he's
you-
the spec. He's got a 60% win rate. That's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, good hero.
yeah.
60%?
watch-
Shit.
Yeah, he's
If you
second
watch-
last.
If you guys watch PPD playing, like his solo rank games, he literally just first picks Chen. It's so stupid, and he had like a page filled with green. I was like, what is this? Like, this EG, is he just coming back to EG now and just gonna be like, first pick Chen, boys? They have
What's
nothing to do with it.
Nobody expects a Chen.
Fucking Kuroki must be over the moon about Chen having a 60% win rate. That's insane.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's so good, actually. That's so good, actually. Okay. Anyone else?
Any other
Anyone else?
hero
What? I was about to say. Yeah. Any other hero changes people think are relatively significant?
I like the Oracle Fortune Zen buff. It's pretty significant. 45
My
mana off.
boy, Aura.
Yeah. Oracle is. I think Oracle is a little bit underpicked, to be honest. Hero's really strong.
No one picks Oracle because Oracle
I
gets stops
picked
it.
Aura.
It's because nobody understands Oracle. Still.
Yo, I understand Oracle.
I understand Oracle too, yeah.
Okay, just me then. All right.
I had to play like 2 months straight of Oracle or Dazzle, and I would always choose Oracle because I could KS. But I think he's so much easier as a pos 4, and I think he should be coming back soon. But maybe not now. The
I want
patch
to
is
see
weird.
Pos 1 Oracle. Surely, I want to see someone do it with that
Don't
that
do
new
it.
kid.
That Aghanims, no, just don't. Unless you get like, oh no, Pretzel,
Yeah, bro.
pos 4 Alchemist
Pos 4
with
Alchemist,
Oracle mid.
yes.
with
Perfect, let's
with
do it.
Oracle mid. It's perfect.
Let's
New
pop
meta,
after
boys.
this, let's do it, bro.
New meta.
Dibs on pos 5 CK. Just have a fuck ton of clarities. Just zone with stun. That's it.
Yo,
Plain
Tranquil.
this clarity meta though. Ooh,
Oh, bro, it's so good. I love it.
spicy
five
50 gold. Dude, yeah, you get 5 pushy boys. Your support holds on to 5 clarities. You just win every single team fight. You
How
continue
can we
going.
not lose?
Yo, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but in my pubs, like, yo, it's not the highest level. It's, you know, around that 4K mark, and you know, every single time I win a team, like my team wins a team fight, I just like put the clarities back into my, take them out of my backpack, just clarity literally everyone up, and they're like, what the fuck, what's going on? Why do I have all this mana? And then we take another fight and we win because we all have mana again. Come on, clarity patch too strong. Buffed by.
CM totally nullified.
Buffed. Oh yeah.
Fuck, CM's so shit, man. This bad.
And that makes me so sad.
bad.
That makes me so sad.
Why are there no girls in Dota? It's because they keep nerfing CM.
Crapper.
People
they,
only-
they buffed Windrunner as well.
Yeah.
They
buffed-
did, actually.
They buffed
She
Lena.
needed
They buffed
though.
Windrunner. It's like
Would
they're
you believe
buffing
me?
all the
Would you
female
believe me if I
heroes.
said Crystal Maiden's got a 54% win rate?
Yeah,
I think
'cause
so,
No one
yeah.
plays that hero, so like anyone who does play it is gotta be good.
I thought she was absolutely trash, but that's
Yeah.
Yeah, what
like,
I think what happens is nobody in like the higher brackets play it. So
yeah.
and then everybody. So that means everybody in the lower bracket plays her, and she's got a slow. She gives people a lot. Everybody mana. She's got a stun or root, and she has a big AOE. And she has a big AOE damaging ult. That either the moment people start walking in, oh shit, I'm damaged. Better walk out, not knowing they get slowed out on the way out.
Man, that
On paper,
mana
she's
regen-
solid. On paper, she's solid, which means
You pick up like boots drums into Pushy Boy and or Kaya, and like you just run around. No one has mana. You have heaps of mana. Your entire team has heaps of mana. You're just like buffing everyone,
Boys.
nerfing everyone. I think that's the only way you can play it is like not Pugna level of like mana degen, but it's pretty close. Like in terms of obnoxiousness.
I will give you the secrets as a Crystal Maiden spammer of the #1 item to get for Crystal Maiden. Totally,
Pushy
I've never seen anybody else get this item except for me.
I'm
Ether
curious.
Lens on top of your Tranquil Boots. Tranquil Boots, Ether Lens, 4 stuff. That's all you need, bro. That,
Yeah.
bro, oh my god.
I'm sorry.
Ether Lens
What's
is like-
I don't know what this 4 stuff item is. Is it similar to a Pushy Boy?
Level 10, you got plus 100 cast range. You got your Ether Lens as well. Like, you literally freeze from half a screen away. It's ridiculous. Super strong. It's
Alright,
a little
I'm
bit
doing
greedy,
it.
of course.
I'm
but
doing it.
it's strong, yeah.
What about you, Maddie? What's your secret to MMR?
Secret MMR for Maddie.
Maddie, what's your secret MMR hero?
The hero that I spam from MMR? I gained 1400 MMR with Troll and his spinny ball. Disruptor there. Disruptor, incredibly strong hero, always. I don't know why he isn't picked every single game. Ever.
He's picked in a decent amount of games, isn't he?
He should be. God, he's
It's a pretty
such,
weak
like,
laning phase.
yeah, but you put someone who knows how to play Disruptor behind Disruptor.
Yep.
It's
It's the most annoying thing in the world.
he's the easiest hero to fuck up too. Like you can fuck yourself up really bad.
Yeah.
that is me every time I played that hero.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you just pick up a Aghanim Scepter and you just run around the map yelling, "I'm doom, I swear!" That is the most ridiculous act, I gotta say.
I wish I could say Oracle because Oracle's my favorite hero ever, but I
Such a low win rate in pubs.
Yeah.
No one understands how to play with it.
Well, look,
but
yeah,
no one knows how to combo with him either, right?
right.
Like,
Yep.
I love the
Not
hero.
gonna lie.
It's really good hero.
I used to first pick Oracle in my pubs, and I'd yell and scream and shout into my
Still
mic.
do it.
I wish I could, but I was like, yelling and screaming into my mic, and no one understood what the hell I was saying. I'm like, "I'm gonna heal you! I'm gonna heal you! Stop attacking him, please!" Or like, "I will finish him off. Don't worry." And then like, you do the good old your double purifying into Fortune's End finishing move kind of thing, and they're just like, "How can you do 500 magical damage in such a short period of time?" I'm like, "I'm cosplaying as a lion. What are you doing?"
It's like when you ult them and they run away, and you're like, "I need to heal you if you want to live. Come back."
Why are you dealing damage to me using purifying flames? No, it's gonna heal you, I swear.
Wait, there's a
Oh, no
Lena
one-
here.
Or
I can't attack her.
when you go to do the combo, when you go to do the heal, and they move, and you end up like doing it on a creep. It's just like,
Or you end up just like killing them because you're purifying flames to that Fortune's Ending because they ran away. Or they run directly into a Lena and just get like a Laguna Blade in the face. And you're like, I can't heal that damage. You just
I love Wing them, like using the magic immunity when the Lena's about to hit them, and I'm just like,
Super good versus synchro as well. Super good versus.
yeah, really
yeah,
good.
it's like I think behind that is the feeling when you use Fate's Edict on either a TA or a Sven who just blinked in, and they just kind of stand there really awkwardly holding their weapon, and they're
They're
like
staring
"I
at
can't-"
you, just like right clicking at you, like
They're like, "Argh." Like,
It's like-
just walk
It's
right
like-
and got strength up and just has a BKB, just forgets to use it.
Yeah,
It's like-
it's a free halberd. I love doing it against Legion. Free halberd. I think it's the
Yep.
easiest. Yeah. I've
It's
changed
one
my
of my-
Twitter bio, by the way now. It's now Save a Life by a Pushy Boy.
When Ember Spirit was really popular, I used to pick Oracle a lot, especially the magic damage
Oh,
Ember,
yeah, the magic
because
damage.
yeah, you just do the Q Fortune's End on him, and just like, oh, I have no damage now.
You and I single minds.
Anything else with the new patch? I don't really see anything else really worth talking
Pangolier.
about.
Pango.
Oh, yeah,
Nerf
Pangolier.
this hero.
See a dead
Nerf
hero?
this hero.
They're still trying to nerf him, but they're nerfing him in all the wrong places.
I
I
just
think he needs to
feel-
get the Doom
They
treatment.
nerfed Monkey
Get rid of his
King,
armor.
though. They just
I
got
feel like
rid
they
of
just need to make it so you can't use items while you're in your rolling star. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the tech at the moment is so bullshit. I did it in 3 games and won every game. Just like it just completely changed the game. Blink into Yule's Scepter, and you just win. You like blink on someone, stun them, lift yourself up. By the time you come back down, the stun like they're no longer stunned. You can stun them again. You can get it. Like I was just the first time I saw someone do it, I was like, oh my god, that's just broken.
Oh,
That's just
dude,
absolutely
Blink,
broken.
Yule's Scepter, Mimeo Hammer?
Oh baby,
That's just
you're talking dirty in all the right ways.
jeez. That's just meme supreme.
Pushy Boy? At the oh my god.
No, the pushy boy.
A pushy boy. You push
I
a
felt-
push armpit where they get bashed.
I found a title for the podcast for this podcast. All right. Before we do anything more, it's part of the reason why Dota became popular. So you know what? I'm just gonna give a shout out to like a bunch of the custom game changes. I always thought custom games were like super important to this. Like it got to the point, like during my old podcast, during the before this relaunch, I had like a custom game mini. I had a custom game mini series for the channel. Pretzel, if you remember, we used to just after we recorded the podcast, we would just play like a bunch of custom games, and to me that's awesome. I mean, that's part of the reason why Dota got popular. It was a custom game inside Warcraft, and I think it's just seeing like over the past couple of months, like a bunch of the custom game like workshop people and artists and all that stuff getting screwed over by like a bunch of these patches. I think it was just like a terrible state, because it's custom games are like a huge positive about playing Dota, because I mean you have Heroes of the Storm, which is it's Dota training with training wheels. League, and that's fun because it's fun because each map is basically a new custom game essentially, because they had a bunch of different rules. They're like objectives act in different ways and all that stuff. You have League, League only really has one mode that's popular, that's even worth playing at all, and then a couple of other modes here and there, but then you have custom games, which is like we have like a free for all Dota. We have RPGs. We have all tower defense, pure reflexes. We have Mario Kart. We have Mario Kart in we have Mario Kart in Dota. We have Mario Party in Dota. I mean, what
I'm
other?
so happy that Frostivus came through. I'm happy that with the party throw in. I loved it.
We have one. We found fucking Prey and Maddie. We found the one person that liked the Frostivus event. Oh god.
Omni Party already exists.
Yeah, the custom game already existed before like they put it in for Frostivus, and it's.
I like
But-
Steelbreaker. I like the RPG.
I like Siltbreak, yeah.
Swordbreaker was sick. It was so fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. I loved it,
I played it 87 times, only won once.
Holy fuck.
It was
that's
rough.
some commitment.
I got caught up with life. I haven't beaten it. I actually haven't beaten it.
Well,
I think you can still play it, right? It's still in the
It's
custom
on the
map.
arcade.
Exactly. See, it's in the arcade, which that's another option. If you miss any of the old events, it's going to be in the arcade, so you don't feel like you're missing out. I mean, obviously, Omni Party / Uther Party has been around for ages before the Frostivus event. So both Siltbreaker acts are available in the thing. Wraith, if you guys remember Wraith Knight, like the big transition from Skeleton King to Wraith King, that's in there. That was sad. That was the passing of the torch. That was passing of the torch.
The king.
Long live the king. But yeah, I mean, to me, like custom games were a huge part of Dota, and I'm glad they finally got some love, but I mean, let's face it, there's still a bunch of problems to deal with, and I just hope this is a good start for Valve to fix it up and bring it up more, because if maybe you feel like Dota, and don't feel like Dota, and that's
Pretty
it.
much.
All right.
Sometimes that happens to me. Like I'll jump in. I feel like playing a custom game, and then just want to get some last hits on some creeps in the lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I still Element TD is still like one of my favorite fucking custom maps of all
It's
time.
really good, yeah.
Gem TD is my crack.
Yeah, dude, I played Gem and Element TD all over, man. It's just when they got ported to when custom games got ported into Dota 2, I lost my shit.
Yeah, I still remember like watching Purge videos of that. It's like, Purge trying to explain this really complicated game, and everyone around him is just like.
And then he had like 2-3 months of solid uploading just Gem TDs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
I'm
just Gym TDs. I'm like,
smart enough for LETD. Gem TD is just RG.
Are you kidding me? Gem TD seems more hard than LETD. I don't have to worry too much about mazing shit. I just need to worry about elements. But yeah,
nostalgia.
all nostalgia.
How many of you guys still play Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne and still go back to that?
Oh, I smash the campaign all the time.
Yeah, dude, you asked me to do that for all the Blizzard games, man. I just like a little while ago I finished up the StarCraft remaster campaign. And then I'm fucking a while before that I finished up completely Warcraft 3. Dude, I'm about to do StarCraft 2 again, and oh my god, I miss Blizzard RTS campaign so much. Bring back Warcraft, please. I don't want it to be an MMO anymore. Give me Warcraft 4. It'll never happen, but you know what? Just give me WoW story in RTS form. I'd be throwing out all of my fucking money. All of my money.
Easy.
You don't need it means you don't even have to rewrite a bunch of shit. You just need to make assets. just I'll give you all of my money.
I was a RuneScape kid.
I still can't get over like the fact that half of those games are still written in Russian, like for Frozen Throne. So it's like half the fun of those custom games was trying to like figure out what the game rules are, like how to win the game, because you can't understand what the hell it says. You're just like, oh, I think it says something about killing this particular thing. All right, and then like you'd spend like a good couple of hours just trying to figure out how to win the game.
And then you find out it's a pacifist mission.
Yeah.
Oh look! Warcraft 3 custom games in a day was 90% Dota, 50% of which will say pros only.
Pros only.
Pros only. No, mate, it's AP pros only. If you're EM, you're not pro.
Nah, bro. Board Aussie was APEM pros only.
Yeah, that's right. Like 2% any 2% TDs, 2% like the R2, like 1% the RPG, 1% of like the other random action maps. What was it? Vampires. I forgot what it was.
Warlocks.
Vampires, Warlocks. And then yeah, Warlocks was awesome. Then
It was sick. Uther Party every so often.
Actually, yeah, they've still got Warlocks and Dota 2 custom maps as well, don't they?
Yeah. 1% anime games, whatever they ended up being.
Naruto vs Bleach, One Piece, and some shit like that.
And that was ported to Dota 2 as well.
Yeah, that was.
Give me back Hungry Fellhounds. Did you guys ever?
Oh, dude, yes.
Wait, did Did you guys ever play Card Fight on Warcraft 3?
No, mate. It's all about Slide Ninja Slide.
Or Run Kitty Run?
Run, kitty, run.
Yeah.
And then there's like the variations where they just have a bunch of music playing in the background, all sped up. It's so good. Like I love Numb Encore just because of that. Just because I've been playing Slide Ninja Slide or Fighter. That's just playing in the background. And then of course you'll have like 1%. The other like 1 or 2% is like troll maps where you'll just load in and then there's nothing. And then occasionally people will troll with porn. They just have you just load into a map. There's just an image of of a naked chick, and that's it. That's it.
And 14-year-old me loved it back then.
Oh yeah,
Oh, bro.
I was all over it. I was all over it.
I didn't have to be connected to the internet to look at them. It was bad. Just load it up yourself. So good.
What? I wasn't looking at porn. I was playing games.
I was playing games, Mum.
Mom, it's Dota. Don't look.
Oh man.
Jeez. Anyway, I guess back to Dota. We've got some stuff coming up.
Right.
We've got,
Okay.
we've got obviously we've got the patches to look forward to. There's a few days before our first big patch, right?
Oof.
So no one's gonna understand what the hell is going on until what, like Friday Eve. Well, I guess it hits for us on Friday morning. But
Remember the changes are in game now. They're in client now, so that should help a bit actually.
that's even worse because everyone's gonna come home from work and be like, "Oh my god, like Dota 2 doesn't work. I have to repatch this."
Yeah, but then they'll also see, oh, there are changes.
Yeah.
It's a nice addition being able to see it like when you're actually in game and you're selecting a hero, it's got the little notification there next to the icon. Even for like if other people are picking that hero, I'm like, oh, what's this over?
Super handy.
Oh, okay. Just yeah, handy as like as a little reminder. Like it's like some patches, massive, and you like can't remember everything that happens. So I thought that was nice.
One thing that's sick is where you can pull tangos like in the little strategy screen.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, but you know what?
Great.
What's that?
You know what they should do is like when you're picking a hero, just show your win rate beside the hero. So if some other deck wants to pick it, you can be like,
Then you're gonna have some dude who has like
Right there,
68% win rate. Yeah.
All right. Whoa. What just happened? Whoa! What just happened? I don't know what happened there.
Your webcam's gone. That's what
Oh, right.
Turn that-
Okay. All right. So you know what? Everybody switched positions now. So you know what? I think. All right. Before we'll probably end it. We'll probably end it as we've been running quite a while as it is. So let's end it up with what we what we think is going to change in the patch coming up. I'll just leave it up to the floor.
I hope to see changes to Pangolia. I feel like they still need to work out that hero a little bit. I feel like some items and how they work on that hero is pretty broken. As I was saying before, not only stuff like Blink during ulti, but where the Javelin works with him. I haven't seen too much as well to Dark Willow as well, so I'd probably like to see something to her. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, or hope to see at least.
Yeah. Anybody else want to add anything?
Incoming nerfs to Pushy boy. 30-second cooldowns incoming, boys. We're screwed. No more Pushy boys twice in a team fight.
All right.
All I ask for is more buffs to Kunkka. He's not overpowered, I swear.
You know what? I'm just gonna ask for more quality of life changes. I don't need kind of any more balance changes. I mean, there's nothing really I want to change.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing them push this last hit trainer like all the way, which I feel like is maybe something that's maybe a bit overdue.
Oh,
Oh,
we
Maddie's
lost
gone.
her.
You know what?
I thought I could be frozen, but
Yeah, you know what? I think we'll just kind of wrap it up there, actually, before anything else goes wrong. So, sorry, it ran a bit long. So sorry about that, fellas. It ended up being a lot longer than I thought, just because we like to. It looks like we just like to rant about a ton of shit. So, thank you guys for watching. The VOD will be uploaded up later. I'll also be uploading a audio only version to SoundCloud. So if you want to listen to that in the background, you don't have to have a video opened up permanently. So that should be it for us. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.